All right, hi guys, it's Angelina here. As always, you know what time it is. If it's Tuesday at 7 o'clock, it's me. It is me that's on your timeline at this time. I have a great and special guest here. I have Mr. Thomas Williams. Mr. Thomas is the owner of Glory Painting Company LLC. If you don't know him by now, you don't know what you're missing. He is the bomb. Okay, let me just go ahead and just sum that up. When it comes to all painting needs, we actually met from another client. We were getting quotes. I was getting quotes. I don't know if you remember. She was getting quotes to her home, and it actually was one of my best friend's mom's homes that was getting quotes, Miss Belton. And you end up giving her a quote. That's how we met you
Right.
initially, all those years ago. And ever since then, guys, we have been working together. Um, he has over 45 years, guys, of experience. First of all, you don't even look 45 years old. I'm just looking at my background, like, wait a minute, does that say 45 years? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I need to go
And
put some moisturizer.
just turned 60.
Really? Oh, happy belated birthday. Guys,
Thank you.
not just your screen. He just stated he just turned 60. If you're joining us now, as always, too, just to let you know, too, Mr. Thomas, we do allow we're live, and so people can come on and ask questions. We may have people
Okay.
come on and ask you questions. If they do, I can see it on my end, and I can be able to
Okay.
ask them. Okay? Guys, if you're joining in, please ask your questions. We have the one and only Thomas Williams, who is the owner of Glory Painting Glory Painting Company LLC. My apologies. We're looking at over 45 years in experience in experience of the painting industry. Also, former veteran too, correct?
Correct.
Thank you so much for your service. So, veteran-owned company. I know that's important as well to a lot of people. Well, and what I want to do is I want you to kind of come on, just tell us a little bit about yourself, and then I just have questions that I want to ask in regards to what we could be able to do to transform our spaces.
All right, man. It's hard talking about yourself sometimes. Like I said, I've been painting. My dad was a contractor, and he started me out when I was 9, and actually I hated it in the beginning because this would be my whole summer, every school vacation I had. I was on the truck with a paintbrush, so I hated it. I hated it. I hated it all the way up through high school. So when I graduated high school, he wanted me to get into it. I didn't. I ended up doing some other things, going in the Army. After I got out, about 4 years, then he wanted me to get back into it. And I ended up in law enforcement and did correction and all that stuff for over 25 years. But I still painted on the side. Um, Learned to get to have. I guess I learned to like it. I never really loved it, but I learned to like it enough to keep it going. So, and after I retired, maybe 6 years ago, I just decided to do it again full time. And God has been good. I've done gotten into the commercial realm of things, and we do a lot of school repaints. I do a lot of commercial projects. Still do quite a bit residential. So, and that's all I've been doing since then. And like I say, God has been blessing, and it's been good.
That's awesome. It's funny how our parents know what we're going to get into, and we be fighting them just to
Right.
end back what they
Well,
want us to do.
and what he would always tell me, and I didn't see it then, but I see it now. He would always tell me, he says, "Well, son, I'm going to teach you something that no man can take away from you." He says, "So it doesn't matter what you decide to do. You can go." And his favorite thing was I can go to Maine and paint my way all the way back to South Carolina. And I see a lot of truth in that now.
That's something that as we tell children, like even with my Carlos and our kids, we tell them like, hey, learn a trade. You can't go wrong with learning a trade. Even what I do, I tell them real estate is a trade, because exactly what you said, I could go from every state. Now I got to go get licensed in it, but I can go in every state and be able to do certain things and be able to make a living doing what we do, and it's an amazing thing to be your own boss. And not only just be your own boss, but to serve people, which is one of the things we really appreciate about you, is that, we always try to align ourselves with people who have the same mentality. It's about service, doing right by people, and we just really appreciate how you've been there to help clients,
Right.
to help. Sometimes people don't even get a chance to meet you, but they're impressed by
Right.
what it is you do and everything. Okay, awesome. Well, I got some questions I want to ask in regards to things. First off, one of the things is you kind of already answered one on which was it what expired you in regards to things. Now, as far as what type of painting services do you offer, or do you specialize in a particular area? I think you did mention both residential and commercial, but is there
Right.
anything that you specialize in, or you
Well,
do
we
it all?
specialize in we get into like the cabinet painting. We're getting a lot of cabinet painting jobs. So we kind of
Okay.
specialize in all interior stuff. We can do everything interior, but we kind of taking on the cabinetry part of it, and kind of took that on our wings, and we kind of took that and improved it, and made that one of our specialties.
See, I didn't know that. And see, that's why I love these Tuesday tune-ins, because I had no idea that you were now painting cabinets, because I might
We
need
do.
you. Look, we're meeting tomorrow. So I may be asking you some things, because we literally was just talking about that, Carlos and myself. And I didn't know that you did that. And see, we'll have
Yeah.
people all the time who get homes and they want to change out things. And we're trying to give them, the Rolodex of, okay, these are the people that we work with. We
Right.
can't here, but we can recommend of, hey, this is who we have had a great experience with. Call them and be able to see what he can be able to do to assist you. Okay, awesome. So cabin paintry. Guys, if you hear that, if you're tired of having your cabinets, or if your cabinets have beaten down like how mine are from your children, Mr. Thomas call, and I will be putting his information, as I always do, at the end of this segment, okay? Okay, awesome. And so, as far as what are some of the biggest painting challenges that homeowners face that you're seeing, and how do you help them overcome those challenges?
Well, I think for me, the biggest challenge is always trying to meet their budget. Like I tell my guys, you're not going to make all the money on one job, so I always try to work with clients or customers, to kind of give them what they want. A lot of times I ask, "What's your budget?" And depending on your budget, then we'll kind of scale down and kind of give you what you want, but still give you a professional job. So that's one of the challenges that you run into. The main thing is just getting the job priced right, that everybody can afford it, they can afford it, and not have to break their back to pay to get it done.
Exactly. You might not be able to get, what is it, satin and eggshell all
Right,
throughout. You may have to get that flat paint for the beginning to get it done, and then, like you say, later on, be able to.
right,
And I always tell people that, I don't think people realize as they start doing, we see it on TV and it seems seamless,
right,
with the renovations and what it is, until people start getting the figures of that. And when you're looking at trim work, if you got a house that has, window casings,
right,
door casings, wainscoting throughout, judges paneling throughout, all of that takes tedious work that I think people don't realize, from taping to the ceiling part. If you got high ceilings, nowadays everybody's, homes, they're building up versus out.
right.
Is you're having to bring in special ladders just to be able to get it. People don't realize that there's a cost to that, getting it done and getting it done right.
Correct.
And get it
And, and,
done, get it
and
done
also,
right.
Angelina, paint makes a big difference too. Like I know Sherwin Williams do a lot of advertising, and people are just stuck on Sherwin Williams. But for me, I
Yeah,
like to use PPG, and PPG gives you the same quality paint that's cheaper than Sherwin Williams, but you're getting the same quality. So normally, what we do is a crossover. And I just give an example, like Sherwin Williams have a paint called Emerald. So I can take that same crossover and I can go to PPG and get that same paint, all the quantity, I mean the pigments and everything in it that's the same quality, but I can probably get it for $20 cheaper at PPG. So like I said, people are fixated on Sherwin Williams, and they think because it's Sherwin Williams paint it's gonna do the best job. But any paint job is all about the prep work. So it's really not about the paint, but you're still getting good quality paint.
well, and you introduced us to PPG because I was stuck
Right.
on the agree break, which you probably see behind it. Guys, if you see this, Mr. Thomas did this, okay? He painted in my house too. I don't refer anybody that I haven't used myself. And so And you're right. You got us stuck on PPJ, and you did exactly that. And I like when I went to, because we went to the location right here off of Two Notch next to Bitlots. I
Right.
think it's where you said it. And that gentleman, he kind of just, he took the time to explain to us the different pigments of the paint and everything. And so that's kind of where we go. If we need paint, we go there instead. We don't even think about, other areas because
Right.
of the customer service. Okay, awesome. Now, in regards to when it comes to choosing paint colors, what advice would you give homeowners who are unsure where to start?
Well, I always say, always put samples on it. Always pick a color, because sometimes you can look through a fan deck and you get a color and you think that's the color you want. So I've always been good about telling customers to start with a sample. You put a sample on, let it dry down. You try it in a couple of different areas, because the main thing is the lighting. So you want to get it in a spot where you got some good lighting where you can get the true color. But definitely start with samples. Um, I've had customers to go to Pinterest and kind of pick a color and see what they can pull with it to kind of match. Even some of the paint stores have color consultants there that would help, kind of get you where you need to be. And myself, sometimes I got a young lady, a friend of mine. She's the interior designer. I call her and kind of connect customers with her sometimes as well, to kind of help get the color and the color scheme that customers are looking for.
I need her phone number, if you don't mind, because we have
Okay.
people who ask interior designers all the time too. Thank you. See,
Okay.
learn something. And
I
I
sure will.
remember when you came out in Laura Crossing, you did exactly how you painted on different walls. And I asked you,
Right.
like, why are you doing different walls? You was like, because it's going to show differently. And it did. Like, you that same color, but it has a different tone. And depending on how the light hits in that room, and it
Right.
may make you like it or not like it when it comes to the painting and such. Okay,
Right.
awesome. And so, what steps do you take to ensure a high quality, long lasting paint job when you're going into homes and also commercial as well?
Well, like I said, prep is normally the main thing. Prep is what makes a paint job, and it's not really the paint. So we normally go in and make sure we prep everything right, sand your walls, dust your trim, patch the holes, smooth the walls. Make sure everything is, so when we do paint it, it's a good solid finish. And again, prep is the main thing that's important to a paint job.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize. I've gone in places where they've had painters, and you could tell where there was still, holes in the wall from where they, hung
Right.
up pictures, or you could still tell where, they had wallpaper at one time. And that was one of the things that, like, hey, painters normally do, but see, we was based it off of what we normally see the work that you've done. And they was
Right.
like, well, no, that would be extra in regards to. So guys, that's something to think about. If you're going and you're getting quotes and you're looking at it, it can't always be what's going to be the less amount, because that contractor may or may not be taking some things out of there. There may be some things
Right.
that's not to, whereas it's not being sanded down, it's not being prepped, or it may be some things to where it's including things like it's sanding down your walls, caulking in areas that way you don't see the gaps. I'm trying to think of other things you've done, the prep work of as far as recovering your furniture, so you
Right.
don't have the paint, or making sure that you have the tape around so you don't see paint all on your ceilings. Which brings me to my next question. What are some common mistakes that people make when they're trying to do it themselves with these painting projects? Because we have people that do that too. And how can they avoid them?
Well, they can avoid them by calling a professional. Now, what I see, so what I see is a lot of the DIYers is, and like I said, painting is easy, and the average homeowner can paint if you take the time to prep and tape. Um, and I think the biggest problem that I run into is they're not knowing the type paint to get. So when I say case in point, house we just finished not too long ago, they used a semi-gloss on the walls, which shouldn't have been done. But then not knowing how to, smooth it out and make it look finished was another problem that was also at that resident as well. So I think knowing what to do, getting the right paint, allowing yourself to take the time to tape it off. Cause like I said, that's like prep. You got to tape it off and, make sure you got everything right. So when you do paint and get paint all over everything, once you pull the tape, you're good to go. But that's the biggest problem with the DIYers. They just not knowing exactly what to do. Everybody say they can paint, which painting is easy, but it's not professional.
Look, for somebody who has gone houses, and I have people like, oh, I'm gonna paint, and you
Right,
go and you see, like you say, they had the different sheen. I had one where the
right,
lady just went, I'm gonna go and spot paint everywhere because I'm trying to make it nice and neat, and it ended up making it worse because it was just sheen paint against a flat paint where you could
right,
see it, and it made it look discolored and everything else. And and we tell people like, hey, if you can't do it, oh no, I'm gonna do it. Then we go in there. Oh, what did
right,
you do? And then when we have to end up doing this call, you was like, hey, this is what you're doing. I need you to come over here.
right. And then
Because
it
people,
end up costing you more money because now you got to pay the painter to come in there and straighten it out, which
well,
is going
not
to be
just that.
extra.
Well, not just that. What people don't realize, guys, from a real estate standpoint, when we're taking buyers in homes, it doesn't matter if you just painted that house or not. If you see that if when buyers are seeing paint on the wall and they can tell it has been taped up, or you tried your best and you got paint on the ceilings, guess what that buyer's gonna say? Oh, I'm gonna have to paint this all over. We need to take it
Right,
off. It really takes money out of the sales price that they think that they offer. Now, when you are getting it painted, someone like Mr. Thomas, what we're able to do when we're listing your home is like, hey, this home has been professionally painted. Guess what that says to that buyer? Oh, this home's been perfect. This is moving ready. I won't have to do anything. It don't even have to really be a color they would choose. The fact that they know it's been professionally painted and it's something that looks good, it immediately gives you value when it comes to, well, let me give my disclaimer. May or may not, because I'm not an appraiser. But what we have seen is appraisals that it does give you value when you have gotten it professionally done. And trust me,
right.
they can tell it's been professionally done too. Okay, awesome. And do you have any, because now this thing that we're hearing about eco-friendly or low VOC paint. What is low VOC paint, and what kind of eco-friendly do you have when it comes to paint that you have available for clients, if any?
Well, what we use they do have low VOC paint, and I think that's the main thing that everybody's kind of going with now. Um, and all the stores like Sherwin Williams, PPG, that's some of the line, and even Home Depot, the Barrett paint, everything is moving to that low VOC, and that's because, like I said, less fumes, less stuff for the environment when we washing brushes and stuff. So we try to use that as much as possible. Sometimes it's hard to get in the colors and the things that you want in that paint, but every chance we
Okay,
get, we try to be eco friendly with paint.
awesome. And are you seeing any new trends that you're seeing from the interior to exterior? I went from agreeable gray, where everybody had agreeable gray, and so now it's the city loft. The builders
Well,
are doing the city loft white. Are you seeing any trends that people for interior or exteriors now?
no, well, like I said, it was the agreeable gray. So now I'm seeing a lot of Killam beige. That's another popular color that's starting to be used. Even the schools, I paint a lot of schools with Killam beige and the agreeable gray. Um, I painted the school another color that they use is called, I think it's koi pond. That's a Sherwin Williams color, like a light green. Uh,
Oh,
so yeah,
like that.
that color is very popular as well.
I've seen it in homes. It looks good, especially when people have like the brass fixtures and
Right.
things. Okay, that's what it's called. Okay, I might be to come back
Yeah.
over. Awesome. And for anybody that's wanting to get started on the process, can you walk them through kind of what your process is and what you do from a new client, from the consultation to completion?
Say that again. I didn't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Like when you're having a new client, what's the process from taking that new client from consultation to completion?
Well, like I said, normally we start with the consultation, which is the estimate or the quote process. We go through and we walk the project. We try to see, again, like I said, I'm listening to the client, kind of seeing what they want. How do they want to complete this job? So once we get all that, I walk through it, we point out stuff, and normally I would kind of walk back through it again with you, just kind of make sure I got everything that you mentioned in my quote. So when I do give you a quote, making sure I have everything in there that we talked about. And once I get that done, I go back and I get the quote together and send the numbers to the customer. And then at that point, I also allow question and answer, like picking color. I don't usually dwell on colors in the beginning, only if it's going to be a lot of colors. Because normally for a painter, anything over 3 colors, they normally charge a little extra for that. But I normally allow 3 colors. So once I get the quote back to them, we talk about it, make sure I got everything in there again, because I was always told stress is unmet expectations. So I want to make sure everybody's on the same sheet of music. I'm gonna do what you asked me to do, and what I quoted. And then we go to the process of budgeting. I get a client the opportunity. If it's right, then let's move with it. And if it's not right, let's talk about it. Let me see what I can do to adjust this price. I see what I can do to get you everything you need. And then after that, we kind of get everything finalized and get it signed and move forward. And most of the time, I try to be pretty much quality and assurance. I'm not on the job 100%, but I try to be at least 85, 90% of the time on the job. That way I can kind of control and kind of project manage and see what's going on and get it to completion.
Awesome. And I do like that about you too, that you are hands-on when it comes to things. And even when we have questions, you're there available. I know you, Carlos, more when it comes to the projects.
Right.
But what I do know is, like, when we call, you pick up. And so that means a lot, guys. Like I said, if you're just not joining us, guys, we have Thomas Williams of Glory Painting Company LLC on, giving us some tips, things of what he does as far as with painting. I'm going to put your information in here, because if you are wanting to set up a consultation with Mr. Thomas here, and I call him Mr. Thomas. I know you're probably looking at his name saying Will. I think I've called you Mr. Thomas from the beginning.
From the beginning.
Williams, I'm sorry, Mr. Williams. Please reach out to him. His information here. I'm going to put this on for you guys. Right here, this is his contact information. This is the contact number as well. You could be able to also reach out to him on Facebook. He's on Facebook, so you can be able to reach out to him. Get set up on your consultation, guys. I know you're about to start having people over the holidays. If you have, hey, we're already in October. So if you plan on having people come over in Thanksgiving and the Christmas holidays, you need to go ahead and give Mr. Thomas a call. Try not to sit there and bother your husband or bother your wife or friends and having a painting party.
Right.
Go ahead. You could get it knocked out with him in one day versus it taking a weekend, and it may not cost you as much as you think once you go through and getting everything spread away. Okay. Mr. Thomas, was there anything else that you would like to leave with everybody? Because we have from agents to investors on here to home buyers. Anything you would like to share?
Well, I just like to say we love what we do. We're very customer friendly, and again, I like working with clients. I hate to tell anybody no, so sometimes I'll cut myself short sometimes just to make sure I can make someone else happy. It just depends on the cut short part, but we very customer friendly. We love what we do, and you get a very professional company, and we look forward to working with anybody that's available that needs our services. But again, like I said, we do painting, pressure washing, cabinetry, you name it.
Oh, so I could add it. Now, you didn't mention pressure washing before.
Yeah, we do pressure washing too.
Okay, so guys, we got residential painting, commercial painting, interior and exterior, cabinet painting, and also pressure washing. So 6 items of what this company can be able to do for you. So if you're trying to get your home ready for the holidays, because everybody wants to get this, I'm sure I'm asking my husband now, like, hey, let's get this. Promise you, this is who you want to call. And guys, I'm going to give this tidbit too of something that can really be able to refresh your home. If you're in a home where you still have popcorn ceilings, Mr. Thomas, before I ask, you still do it, Mr. Thomas?
We still do it.
Mr. Thomas does scrape popcorn ceilings. If you want to scrape off years off your home, get those popcorn ceilings scraped, get them smooth, and it does not take as much as you think it does. A lot of times people think that it's a lot more involved, and it's really not. We do have some clients. Okay, I'm so sorry, guys. we had Mr. Thomas. We did get people that were coming in and asking questions. For some reason, it wasn't showing on my end. I think I'm having some tech issues. Oh, he said, what about new builds where they didn't prep well? Are you able to assist with that?
I am. Yeah,
Okay,
we
awesome.
I run into a lot of that as well. You know, the builders they so quick building these homes, and then you know to get these painters to come in, giving them this crazy price to do it, and you know they I've seen, so yeah, I can help with that.
So, Mr. Carter, he can be able to help with that. So, if you want his information, I actually have your contact. You would like me to send it to you, but I'm going to put it back on here. And then also with the pressure washing. See, you mentioned pressure washing. We got all these people coming in. Do you pressure wash the Columbia area only, or how will you
So
travel?
we travel.
Awesome. All right. Mr. Carter said thank you. Okay, so Nisi, he travels across. Is it all around South Carolina? Or do you do South Carolina, some parts of North Carolina?
Well, we do. I've gone to Georgia, North Carolina, you name it, we
Oh,
go.
yeah, you do travel.
I
So,
do.
guys, you got South Carolina, Georgia, North Carolina. Just reach out to. Oh, she wants you to come to Greenwood because she's going to get some things done in her house.
Tell I'm a native. My grandparents are from my great grandmama's from Abbeville.
Really? Well, I'm from
Yeah.
Greenwood. I didn't know that. That's
Yeah.
wrong.
I
Okay.
grew up I grew up hanging out in Abbeville.
Well, hey, go get on down because after. Well, guys, I'm going to put his information back on here so that way you can be able to contact him as well. And then also, Mr. Carr said if your HOA is being funny about pressure washing. Have you ever come across that with some HOAs and what they stated in regards?
I haven't. Not to this point I haven't.
Well, and bringing up pressure washing too, that I don't think people realize, guys, if you have any stonework or brickwork on your house, a lot of times people be like, oh, I'll just get a pressure washer and I'll just do it. They don't realize you have to use a certain pressure or you'll build pressure off your mortar. I don't know if
Right.
but you can really pressure off your mortar that protects the brick. Then you now create spaces to where that water can travel behind that and cause a lot of mold and mildew issues for the structure of your house. So don't just hire anybody who bought a pressure wash machine and put a sign out saying they can pressure wash. You want somebody who truly understands what pressure washing is, knowing the different pressures, what they can be able to do, and to get things squared away. I'm glad they brought that up. I'm
And
so
also
sorry
to notice too, Angelina, is a soft wash and a hard wash. So a lot of times, you know, you got to be able to know when you need to do a soft wash versus the pressure. You understand what I'm saying?
Also, it's a difference between the soft wash and the pressure
Right.
wash.
So a soft wash, you just kind of putting a cleaning agent and then just rinsing it down pretty much. So a pressure washing is that you using the pressure off the gun and you kind of putting pressure to the surface. So sometimes, like I said, you may just need a soft wash where you just kind of put a chemical over it and then just rinse it down.
Okay, awesome. I know he was saying that the HOA is right around their neighborhood to call people. And guys, let me just go ahead and say, that's another thing that actually brings years to your home, because your home is going to sometimes, especially if you have a vinyl home, or you can sometimes see where you need to have pressure washing, because if the sun is not drying that house off, you'll start seeing, what is it, kind of like algae, not algae, but mold and mildew.
Algae, yeah, the algae.
Algae, yeah, get it pressure washed. It makes your home look, especially if you're about to put it on the market. Please, guys, pressure wash your home. Call Mr. Thomas. I'm going to put the number back up here because I really want you all to contact him to get this taken care of with your homes, because whether you're listing with me or not, you're going to have a buyer who's going to nitpick thinking that you're not really maintaining your home because of the fact they see that whole backside having those issues. And it takes years off your house. And why not? I don't know about you all, but I don't want, if my house is white, I don't want to walk up to it if it's normally white and it's looking like it's green or yellow because it needs to be pressure washed. It's not something that you have to do all the time. Maybe something that you have to do possibly at different seasons. But guys, it's so worth it when people are looking at it. Oh, we got a question too. Would you do a small job like the front door? Do you pressure wash that? Like a because and I think I know she's asked because in like those older homes, have you had those big doors? Do you kind of do
Right.
those jobs?
Yeah, I'll paint. I take small jobs as well. Probably as far as pressure washing that area, probably that would be what you do, a soft wash. Just kind of spray it and then rinse it down.
Uh-oh, she meant to say paint. Oh, she meant to say paint,
Oh
not
yeah,
pressure wash. Paint when you
yeah,
paint the doors.
we'll definitely paint it.
Okay, awesome. And again, guys, if you're just joining, because I know some of y'all staggering joining, he could be able to do painting for interior and exterior, as well as painting with cabinetry, pressure washing. Did I list everything? And when he paints, he goes through and smooths down things, and with smoothing and sanding down too, just to let you know. All right. Do we have any other questions? I'm trying to see if we got any other questions coming on. Guys, I want to put Mr. Thomas's contact information on here again. That's his contact information, guys, for all of y'all who are wanting to get consultations and also get some services done. This is his business contact number as well as his Facebook. I know these kind of shut off and it's a live, but as I always say, these stream to my YouTube page, Deals with Angie. So you can go to Deals with Angie to kind of recap, to kind of see a little bit of information. We're looking at 45 years of painting experiences. Yes. And he just also celebrated his 60th birthday, too. We got one more question. Oh, we got somebody that said, thank you so much for the great information.
You're welcome.
So, please, guys, please call him. I have used him professionally as well as personally. And what I love about Mr. Thomas is that he does exactly what he says he's going to do. Not only that, he always is. I never had a client complain. He's always respectful. He takes pride in his work. And that's what you want when you have somebody coming to work in your home. Somebody that takes pride in what they do. And he has 45 years of that service proven. All right. Mr. Thomas, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
on. So much for you to come on here and to share your evening with us. I also kind of want to share something. Oh. Oh, God, we got a compliment for you.
What is that?
Thank you so much, Carter. Can you see it?
You know, you get 60, I can't have C now.
You had to, I'll read it for you. He said, phenomenal info, exclamation. You could tell he's a consummate professional. Consummate
Thank you.
professional.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, awesome, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. I do want to kind of just share this because I like to make people aware of this. Guys, we have a fair, the Central Carolina Realtors, the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Committee is having a Fair Housing Expo on October 22nd at 1107 Williams Street in Columbia. It's from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Lunch will be provided. So if you need to come during your lunchtime, it will be provided. We're going to have NACA there. We're going to have South Carolina SC Housing. We're going to also have the City of Columbia talking about their programs. We're going to also have Movement Mortgage, Southern First, and other Richland County talk about their programs, along with VA programs, FHA, all type of down payment assistance programs. And guys, this is free. You do not have to be my client. You do not have to have an agent. We just want you to show up and get the information. Now you can be able to go to Evite and be able to pull this up, and you can also to register. You can also go to my Facebook page, Angelina McFadden, or Deals with Angie, and there's the link on there too for you to register for this event. But please, guys, please show up, especially if you're in the process of wanting to look for a home. All right, Mr. Thomas, thank you so very much again for coming on. And you are always welcome at any time. You just let me know. Guys, as always, please join us every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. I'll put my ticker down there. We are live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. I'm doing my best to bring the community professionals of everything that you're needing. If there's certain things that you would like to have a section on a Tuesday tune in, let me know. We're trying to make sure that we're bringing these customers to your, these companies to you so you can know who's out there. I also have Mr. Thomas's information on the newsletter that I just sent out that was posted today. So he could get his contact number there too. We have him spotlighted as our vendor to use. And also, guys, as always, if you have questions about selling or purchasing a home, please reach out to me at Angelina Deals with Angie, or you can use my phone number, 803-201-3339. All right, Mr. Thomas, thank you again for your
Thank
time.
you.
And blessed evening. And guys, you guys be blessed too. Thank you as always.
Thank you. Have a good one.